1.6 Project Management Business Documents. Now, as I said in my spoiler alert from the previous lesson, project management business documents are not the same as project management documents. I don't know why they have the names so similar. On a project, there are 33 project management documents, but they're just 2 business documents and they're not treated the same way. So this is the project management business documents. The project manager needs to ensure that the project management approach captures the intent of business documents, and that's the purpose of the documents, and these documents are defined in Table 1.5. PMBOK Guide says these 2 documents are interdependent and iteratively developed and maintained throughout the life cycle of the project. The project sponsor is generally accountable for the development and maintenance of the project business case document. The project manager is responsible for providing recommendations and oversight to keep the project business case, project management plan, project charter and project benefits management plan success measures in alignment with one another and with the goals and objectives of the organisation. Project managers should appropriately tailor the noted project management documents for their projects. Now stop there for a moment. You've almost certainly misunderstood what I just said. Almost everyone does. And that misunderstanding can cost you at least 2 questions on the exam, probably more. We're talking about project business documents, right? The PMBOK Guide says project managers should appropriately tailor the noted project management documents for their projects. Read it carefully. The PMBOK Guide is not saying project managers should appropriately tailor the noted project business documents for their projects. The paragraph started talking about project business documents, but in the sentence it is talking about project management documents, not project business documents, also called project management business documents. Feeling confused? Project manager uses the 2 project business documents, the business case and the benefits management plan, but is not authorised to change them. On the project, there are also 33 project management documents, sometimes just called project documents, and the project manager will change these. The paragraph tells us that the project manager can recommend changes to the business documents, but they're maintained by the sponsor. Very important for the exam. Figure 1.8 illustrates the interrelationship of these critical business documents and the needs assessments, as well as an approximation of the life cycle of these various documents against the generic life cycle. 1. Project business case. The PMBOK Guide says the project business case is a documented economic feasibility study used to establish the validity of the benefits of a selected component, lacking sufficient definition, and that is used as a basis for the authorization of further project management activities. The business case lists the objectives and the reasons for project initiation. It helps measure the project success at the end of the project against the project objectives. The business case is a project business document that is used throughout the project lifecycle. The business case may be used before the project initiation. It may result in a go, no-go decision for the project. A needs assessment often precedes the business case. The needs assessment involves understanding business goals and objectives and issues and opportunities and recommending proposals to address them. The results of the needs assessment may be summarised in the business case document. The process of defining a business need, analysing the situation, making recommendations and defining evaluation criteria is applicable to any organisation's projects. A business case may include documenting the following. And in the exam you may be asked a question on the following headings, plus of course all of the previous uses of the business case. Okay, so started with business needs. Determination of what is prompting the need for action. Why are we doing this? Do we need to fix something? Do we need to increase sales? Do we need to comply with legislation, for example? Situational statement documenting the business problem or opportunity to be addressed, including the value to be delivered to the organisation. Was this a specific problem, opportunity or mandate that is driving this? Identification of stakeholders affected and identification of the scope. This is not the scope statement initially, it is just the main deliverables, but this will be progressively elaborated during the project to form the scope statement. Analysis of the situation. So far we've said that perhaps we can see an opportunity to increase sales by developing a better type of mousetrap. We have listed the main affected stakeholders. Please note that mice are not considered stakeholders, even though they will be affected by the project or perceive themselves to be affected by the project. Now we need to properly analyse the situation rather than just rushing ahead in case we end up in a trap ourselves. The analysis might include identification of organisational strategies, goals and objectives, identification of root causes of the problem or main contributors to the opportunity, gap analysis of capabilities needed for the project versus existing capabilities of the organisation, identification of known risks, identification of critical success factors, identification of decision criteria by which the various courses of action can be assessed. Examples of criteria categories used for analysis of a situation are required. This is a criterion that must be fulfilled, e.g. the mousetrap must be able to kill mice swiftly. Desired. This is a criterion that we would really like to have fulfilled, but it is not absolutely essential. E.g. we'd prefer it if the trap did not require food as bait. The next one is optional. This is a criterion that is not essential. Fulfillment of this criterion may become a differentiator between alternative courses of action, and that's an important note for the examination, that although it's optional, we don't actually need it. If there's nothing else to choose on, we may use that to choose the project. E.g. the mousetrap won't harm white mice because we don't want pet mice to get harmed by our trap. That's an option. We don't need to have it. It would be nice. Identification of a set of options to be considered for addressing the business problem or opportunity. The most commonly used three options are do nothing. This is referred to as the business as usual option. Selection of this option results in the project not being authorised, i.e. what happens if we don't develop a new mousetrap. 2. The minimum work possible to address the problem or opportunity. The minimum may be established by identifying the set of documented criteria that are key at addressing the problem or opportunity. The next option is do more than the minimum work possible to address the problem or opportunity. This option meets the minimum set of criteria and some or all of the other documented criteria. There may be more than one of these options documented in the business case. Next is the recommendation. We're considering the reasons for starting a project. We've analysed the situation in detail and now we have considered options. Now is the time to pull all this information together and recommend what the organisation should do. A statement of the recommended option to pursue in the project, e.g. we will develop an electric mousetrap which is artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities so it can constantly evolve to become an even better mousetrap. Items to include in the statement may include analysis results for the potential options, constraints, assumptions, risks and dependencies for potential options, and success measures. An implementation approach that may include milestones, dependencies and roles and responsibilities. That brings us to evaluation. Statement describing the plan for measuring benefits the project will deliver. This will cover not just the benefits realised, if any, during the project. For example, during testing, the project will probably reduce the number of mice in the organisation. But we also want to look at benefits when the project has moved into operation. The business case document provides the basis to measure success and progress throughout the project lifecycle by comparing the results with the objectives and the identified success criteria. 2. The Project Benefits Management Plan. The Project Benefits Management Plan is the document that describes how and when the benefits of the project will be delivered, and describes the mechanisms that should be in place to measure those benefits. For example, if the project is intended to enable the service desk to resolve customer problems 20% faster on average, what does this actually mean and how can it be measured? The PMBOK guide says a project benefit is defined as the outcome of actions, behaviours, products, services or results that provide value to the sponsoring organisation as well as to the project's intended beneficiaries. Development of the Benefits Management Plan begins early in the life cycle with the definition of the target benefits to be realised. The Benefits Management Plan describes key elements of the benefits. It may include documenting the following. Firstly, the target benefits, e.g. the expected tangible and intangible value to be gained by the implementation of the project. Financial value is expressed as net present value, which we'll cover later in the course. Strategic alignment, e.g. how well the project benefits align to the business strategies of the organisation. The time frame for realising benefits, e.g. benefits by phase, short-term, long-term and ongoing. Benefits owner, for example, the accountable person to monitor, record and report realised benefits throughout the time frame established in the plan. And often it's what we would call one of the business users would be involved in doing that. Someone who actually is going to use the products, or rather that their staff is going to be using the products, is the best one to check it out. Next one is the metrics, i.e. the measures to be used to show benefits realised, direct measures and indirect measures. This is a very important one. Benefits must be measurable. This is a very important one. Benefits must be measurable, because if you can't measure them, how can you tell if the project was a success? In the example of the service desk, I said the customer problems were to be solved 20% faster on average. But if I had just said the service desk has to solve customer problems faster, you can't measure this and so you can't tell if the project actually achieved it. Next is assumptions, e.g. factors expected to be in place or to be in evidence, and risks. Example, risks for realisation of the benefits. Developing the Benefits Management Plan makes use of the data and information documented in the business case and needs assessment. For example, the cost-benefit analysis recorded in the documents illustrate the estimate of costs compared with the value of the benefits realised by the project. The Benefits Management Plan and Project Management Plan include a description of how the business value resulting from the project becomes part of the organisation's ongoing operations, including the metrics to be used. The metrics provide verification of the business value and validation of the project's success. So just a reminder, benefits need to be measurable, otherwise you don't know for sure that you've achieved them. Number 3, the Project Charter and Project Management Plan. For the examination, please remember the Project Charter is defined as a document issued by the project sponsor that formally authorises the existence of a project and provides a project manager with the authority to apply organisational resources to project activities. We'll cover this more in integration management. The Project Management Plan is defined as a document that describes how the project will be executed, monitored and controlled. There are 33 project documents in a project which are used to manage the project, but they are not part of the Project Management Plan. Number 4, Project Success Measures. Please read Project Success Measures in the project guide, page 34. It's a very simple section to understand. It's just really a very long list. That brings us to the end of Project Management Business Documents and also to the end of Foundational Elements module. At the start of this module, I promised that you'd learn important information from it, and I've no doubt that you have. The next module is 2.0, Environments in which projects operate. Please read the corresponding chapter in the PMBOK guide before watching the video so that you can operate well in the examination environment.